Hey everyone, welcome to the movie of the month for June 2010. First of all, I want to let you guys know that my movie of the month for the next 2 months may be a little later than usual. The reason I say that is because my mom is going to be getting off of school in the next couple of days, which means I'm either going to have to do my movie of the month real early in the morning, or I'm going to have to do them really late at night. And I may have to do them through audio, basically through mics, if you will, or I may have to just wait late at night and use the video like I'm doing now. But anyway, the movie of the month for June 2010 is I actually should say it's movies, because as you can see, it's 2 movies. You may have heard of these films, you may have not heard of them. But both these films came out in 1984. That's right. Basically, give you a little bit of history. The 1980s were known at times during the early to mid-80s and sometimes even the late 80s. Sometimes a movie would be released within the same year as its sequel, or its sequel would be released in the same year as the original. And that's the case right here with these movies. And they are, as you can see, Breakin and Breakin II. Both released in 1984. Breakin and Breakin II basically tell the story of 3 inspiring street dancers. That's right, street dancers who, well, they like to dance. Now, the first film, Breakin, which is right here, basically tells the story of a girl named Kelly and 2 guys named Ozone and Turbo. Now, Kelly, of course, is impressed by the street dancing that she sees at a club by Ozone and Turbo. And she wants to help them out, and she wants to help them get revenge, if you will, in sort of a dance competition rematch against a group of dancers that they lost to at the same club. So she and her friend go to where Ozone and Turbo are. Now, Ozone, when he first sees Kelly, is smitten with her. So, you kind of get the idea of what's going to happen there. But anyway, Kelly and her friend are able to convince Ozone and Turbo to allow her to team with them and dance with them so she can help them kind of pay back this group that beat them at the club. So they teach her how to do street dancing because apparently, she comes from the world of ballet dancing or some kind of Broadway dancing or something like that. And she teaches them, they teach her the art of street dancing, and she kind of combines that with what she has, and in exchange kind of teaches them some of her moves, and again, just like she does, combines it with the street dancing, and is able to come up with dances that you've never seen before. So anyway, after all that, and after they return to the club and do pay back the group that beat them, Kelly, in between this, Kelly has a friend, an agent, who's also smitten with her, named Jason. And Jason at first is a little reluctant. Okay, basically he's not all for this whole street dancing deal. But when she takes him to the club to watch her new friends face off or dance off against this group that beat them before, Jason is impressed. It's like he's never seen anything like this. Like, this is something new. So Jason comes up with the idea that maybe these guys could be exactly what the dance stage or the stages of Broadway or whatever need. Basically, they need a fresh look. They need something fresh and hip. So basically, he collaborates with them to help them get an audition at a dance recital. for a dance show or something like that. Kind of Broadway-ish. Not really Broadway, but you get the idea. But first, they got to counter Jason's rival, Franco. Now, Franco, that's his name, used to teach Kelly, because Kelly used to be a part of his class. But I guess Kelly left because I guess there was something about Franco she just didn't like. And if you watch the movie, you'll see what I mean. But anyway, after that, we find out, basically Jason invites Turbo, Ozone, and Kelly over to his house for like a little gathering of all these different people who have ties in the entertainment business. And basically we find out that Franco was smitten as well with Kelly. Big surprise. The villain of the film is smitten with the good girl. But anyway, after all said and done, they end up going to the dance recital, but the only way they could do it is by dressing up in these top hats and suits. That's right. Think of Gene Kelly in Singing in the Rain or Putting on the Ritz. That kind of deal. Well, anyway, it looks like they're not going to be able to perform and rehearse and audition, but Ozone says, the hell with that, man. We're here, we're going to do it. And they end up not only doing it, but they end up changing the minds of the judges, and they end up winning the audition and get the lead roles in what is now known as in a play known now as street jazz. So overall, they win the competition. And what's good about this film as well is they also advertise part 2 with a little song that says get prepared for part 2 or something like that. Which leads us right here, and I have about 7 minutes, 10 seconds left, to Breakin II. Now Breakin II, like I said, is a continuation of the first story. Kelly, of course, has gone on to success in dancing because of her time with the street jazz and the TKO crew, along with Ozone and Turbo. And basically she returns because she misses them, she misses the street dancing and everything. And, basically, to make a long story short, the story revolves around this guy, this head corporate guy, that wants to tear down a community center in Los Angeles known as Miracles. He wants to tear down this community center so he can build a shopping center. Now, the only way that Turbo, Ozone, Kelly, and the friends that they make the Miracles can save the center is by raising $10,000 or $20,000, something like that, to renovate it. In other words, they got to renovate it, make it more modern, more newer. So they come up with a lot of ideas, some car washes and everything, and finally decide what they're going to do is sort of have like a little marathon, a little telethon in front of Miracles. And that's exactly what they do. Now, of course, there's a little bit of a rivalry between Kelly and another girl. I think this girl is from that rival gang from the first movie. And I guess you can kind of see that this rival girl has feelings for Ozone and doesn't want Kelly around because it gives her more of a chance with Ozone than she would ever have if Kelly was around. But anyway, long story short, they get the telethon off and running despite how everybody feels about it, despite the guy that's trying to stop them from doing it, despite the disapproval at first by Kelly's parents and everything, and despite the fact that Turbo ends up in the hospital after getting beat up, and after the fact that Turbo also falls in love with this new Latina girl, I can't think of her name though, but after all said and done, they end up having the telethon, and it impresses everybody to the point that even Kelly's parents are impressed by what's going on, and decide to go down and donate $50,000 to the renovation of Miracles, helping them reach their goal in saving the community center. And overall, both movies are very good. I will say that. Both movies are very, very good. The reason I enjoy both movies and the reason I bought both films, if you will, the reason I bought both films is because when I was a kid, this is a little bit of a short story, my family and I used to go camping along with our other relatives in Lake Comanche California, Lake Comanche, California, during the summer. And for, I don't know how many summers, I don't know if it was 3 or 4 summers, 3 or 4 summers in a row or something like that, we would have this little theater area, like sort of in the back, sort of like a few blocks down. Basically, we walked down from the trailer where we were camping at, and kind of around the corner, and there was this little theater, or little grass sit-in, if you will, and they would show movies. One time they showed Snow White there, Disney Snow White, but a majority of the time they would show this movie. That's how I became a fan of it, and that's why I liked it. It brings back a lot of memories for me of being shown at Lake Comanche. But overall, they're good movies, and you should really check them out. And that is my movies of the month for June 2010. I hope you liked it. If you got any comments, let me know, and I'll talk to you all later.